Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today Frontier revealed the first look at the new mining update, and I'm going to do a very quick overview of the things they told us about. So using the new exploration tools we can find hotspots, and we've had a bit of a look at this in beta already. I've shown this off on a live stream as well as in videos. But these hotspots basically tell us where resource rich mining components are, and you can see these in the nav panel right here. Once you've located them, you can fly directly into these hotspots and locate the items that you want to mine. Now these are something completely different to resource extraction sites, and as it happens, resource extraction sites don't appear to be in the current beta for some reason. At any rate, like I say, you can target these hotspots with the nav panel and then fly directly down to them. Now when we're inside the rings, we still have to locate the specific resource-rich asteroid, and the way we do that right now is to take a bit of a chip off each asteroid or use a prospector limpets on each asteroid. But that's going to change. There's a new scanner, a survey scanner, and what this does is send out a little pulse that scans all the nearby asteroids, and it highlights the ones that are the most valuable or the ones with the most resources in. And you can see that in action right here. The ones with the most resources in are the brightest colour, they're the hottest. The ones with the lesser resources are slightly duller in colour. So basically you'll be able to fly around the ring system using this new scanner tool until you find a certain type of asteroid that you're interested in this case one that's got a lot of resources. There's going to be 4 different ways of mining. There's the existing way, which is the first. The other 3 are new. There's surface mining, subsurface mining, as well as deep core mining, which involves blowing the asteroid apart with seismic charges. So this all means that you have a variety of different tools now, 3 new tools in fact for mining. But before we get to that, we have to use prospector limpets. So these are in the game right now, but in the new version of mining, they're going to work a little bit different. Just see this in action again. You can see how it does a scan of the asteroid and reveals the contents of it very, very visually. And there we go. So this will now show to you what's actually contained within that asteroid, and you can check that by using the right nav panel and having a look at the contacts menu. So you can see here that there's resources on the asteroid, and there's also fissures as well. The fissures you need to shoot seismic charges into to break them apart, and I believe you also can use the subsurface dispersal missiles here to get slightly into the interior of the asteroid and get the resources located there. So surface mining is done with the abrasion blaster, as we mentioned just now, and this seems to be the easiest form of mining and probably the lowest rewards. Of course, this isn't even on the beta server just at the moment, so we don't know what the rewards are going to be for all of this. Hopefully it's going to be worthwhile, because this is looking to be a very good process, hopefully one that's going to be pretty enjoyable, but in either case, it needs to be rewardable as well, or highly rewarding. And just to be clear, this is all footage from the Frontier live stream. At this point, they decided that it was a little bit too dark. You couldn't see very easily what was going on, so they switched on night vision. Now you can see the resource has been highlighted there. That's been selected, and it can now be shot off using the new abrasion blaster, and that is fairly easy to do. It's a fixed weapon, but yeah, it does the trick. Now Frontier did suggest that it's a good idea to try and mine in layers. Mine from the exterior first, and then do the subsurface mining, and then finally do the interior mining or the deep core mining. And that's because basically putting seismic charges into the asteroid fissures destroys the asteroid, and you can essentially lose what's on the exterior. But that said, you do get to the interior, get in the more valuable stuff that way. So you may want to do that first, because you may want to be after the more valuable items that much quicker. Now subsurface mining is a little bit different. You need dispersal missiles for this, and I said earlier you need to fire them into the fissures. That's not quite correct. You can fire them at the resources, and these missiles drill their way down into the surface. Have a look down on the bottom left panel on your UI, and when the missiles fire again here, when Frontier fire the missiles again, you'll see a little indicator come up. And basically you need to press the button at the correct time. This represents the missile being drilled down, and the deeper it goes, the more chances you've got of getting better resources. But the only problem is that eventually it can go down too deep and foul. It's also possible to not press the button at the correct time, and therefore not detonate the missile at the correct moment. And we see this in action right here. And remember, keep your eye on the bottom left-hand side of the screen now on the UI. You can see it says deploy and drill, and the button needs to be pressed on the little blue bar. The longer the deeper the missile goes, the more narrower or thinner that blue bar will actually get, but the higher chances you'll have of getting valuable resources or more resources. And finally, we got mining into the fissures, which Frontier originally called deep core mining. Now to do this, you need to select a fissure and then fire a seismic charge into that fissure. Now it takes a bit of care to aim here. If you hit the asteroid, the seismic charge will be useless. Likewise, if you fire it off and miss and it heads into space, it will just detonate harmlessly in space. So you need to be quite specific and get the seismic charge right inside that fissure. Now, I don't know how far away you'll be able to fire. Maybe you can fire from all the way back where we just saw. Alternatively, get up close and fire from there, it seems. Now, you've got a timer as soon as the first seismic charge is applied, giving you 2 minutes to get to the other seismic charges. The bar there, the flashing lights at the top right info panel, indicate the strength of the detonation. If it's low like that, it's too weak. If it's in the blue section, it's optimal. And if it goes above that into the red section, then the detonation is going to be too strong and destroy the asteroid, as well as quite possibly some of the resources that are in there. From what I understood on the live stream, this process can be done in a wing, so you can have some people doing this surface mining while other ships are doing this subsurface mining, and the third ship potentially dealing with the fissures as well. Likewise, I do believe you can have multiple ships firing seismic charges into the fissures as well. Now once all the fissures are set, once all the seismic charges are set rather, you can actually then detonate the seismic charges. So meanwhile, you've got the countdown happening all the time, and when that reaches 0, the seismic charges will detonate. So if you haven't got enough in there, in the case that there's not enough here at the moment right now, it's going to be ineffective, and that one did just bounce off the asteroid and ricocheted into space. But once they're all set, you're good to go, and I do believe from the way Frontier described this, that you actually charge up the seismic charges before you fire them. So in this case, the second one was highly charged, and it's actually gone into the red zone, making it a bit too high. And here's the part where you can actually detonate. So I'll remain quiet here so you can see the stunning visuals and listen to the rather really nice sound effect. So one very destroyed asteroid then, or at the very least you can see it's broken apart into many segments. The resources are scattered about, but further the resources are on the interior of the asteroid parts. You can fly inside here and then use both the surface as well as the subsurface tools in order to collect these resources. Now there is an element of persistence to this. If someone else is to come back to this ring and have a look at this exact asteroid at a later time, they'll see it in this exact same state. So although Frontier didn't give an indication as to how long it will remain this way, it's not a case that it instantly respawns. And this, I feel, is quite a nice touch, as it means the resource isn't there permanently. And again, no information at the moment as to the amount of rewards that you'll get for doing this. But it does look rather nice, doesn't it? And I think it's going to be quite interesting. Of course, it's a little while till we get hands-on with this. It will be available in the beta from next week. Frontier did also talk about squadrons in this live stream, and it's something I'll be making a video on very soon now. But that brings us to the end of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.